significant that we will end a year-long tradition of opening our doors to a wider community and teaching them deep wisdom from our ancient traditions of Ayurveda, Yoga and Vedanta with the topic of Dharma. Dharayanti iti Dharma. That which holds, sustains and allows something to be itself is Dharma. For example, the Dharma of fire is heat. Without heat, there can be no fire. So, from that perspective, we can understand Dharma as that which allows us to be who we are. The deepest essence of anything, to allow that thing to be that thing, is Dharma. So, this Dharma is then literally the capacitator, the holder, the nurturer, the carrier. There is definitely a Dharma that is operating at a cosmic level to sustain this entire cosmos. There is Dharma that is operating at the level of every particle, so that that particle, which is a micro-universe, can be sustained. And therefore, there is Dharma in everything. Dharma is not that thing, but the essence or the spiritual principle that allows that thing to be that thing. If I have not confused you, have I? No. Then I shall proceed. We are talking about Ayurveda Dharma today. In my last class, I talked about Manava Dharma or human Dharma and Manava Dharma Chaturvidam. It is of 4 kinds. We as human beings, this part I want to explain to you, is of 4 types. There is Vishishta Dharma. Vishishta Dharma means duty-based Dharma or specialized Dharma. This occurs to us when we are embodying a special duty. For example, you are here as a student, and this duty will end when you leave this facility. But when you are a student, you have to not fall asleep, for example. You have to listen, you have to take notes, you have to contemplate. I am here as a speaker, so I have certain duties as a speaker and teacher. I might like to become completely silent on my way home and spend the rest of my day in mauna, silence. But I cannot bring that here to say, well, you had come here to listen, but I'm sorry, I am feeling like being silent. That doesn't work because I have a duty that enjoins upon me certain activities. So this is called Vishishta Dharma. And we may be having many Vishishta Dharmas. For example, before coming here, I have my nephew at home. So I am his aunt. And as his aunt, I had to make him some food before coming. When I'm on the road, I have the duty of being careful. At that time, I cannot say, no, I will not follow the routes because I'm running late. So we have Dharma that is called Vishishta Dharma or specialized Dharma, and it comes on and off. We get in it and out of it based upon which role we are performing. So this becomes very specific to an Ayurveda community, because when you are an Ayurveda patient or somebody who wants to benefit from Ayurveda, we have to be performing certain roles, such as taking notes carefully, experimenting with what is taught, and really keeping up with our appointments, and really doing our part. Similarly, as practitioners, because we are training here at Vedika Global future ambassadors, practitioners, teachers of Ayurveda, you have certain duties that you will be performing, and that is something we must remember today. What is our Dharma? something called asadharan dharma, extraordinary dharma, asadharan. This is the dharma that comes upon us due to a special gift of talent by God. For example, somebody may be given a special gift to be able to sing. It is not given to everyone. Somebody may be given a gift to teach or uplift another. And that person might say, I don't really think so. I am in the late years of my life. I have everything taken care of me. Why should I? No, you must. Because this gift has come to you. It is only going through you. You have to lead this extraordinary dharma. And many of us are recipients of such gifts, and we have to play them out. Have you heard of doctors who are at war and they could take leave, or they could just leave the battlefield and get onto the van and leave, but they say, I am a doctor. One, they are working with Vishishta duty, special their duty, so they cannot leave. And secondly, somebody may have an extraordinary talent of being in the war field, and they will say, I cannot leave. So when we are recipients of extraordinary talents, we have a certain duty to share them. So Rishi tradition in India, the seer tradition in India, these were complete beings. They had self-healed, self-actualized, self-realized. They'd done it all. And now what do? They teach it. They share it. With extraordinary compassion, they pick up a dull mind and bring it to a certain level. Why? Because they have extraordinary gift, and the Dharma enjoins upon them to share. That is why, for example, many great people in literature, in art, in theatre, they have achieved it all. They've had Nobel Prizes and every kind of recognition. But you will often find them that, especially if they are Dharma bound, they will not just be sitting looking at their trophies and their awards and feeling good and content and writing blogs of adulation about themselves. They would be actually working hard, leading a repertory or something, training some very dull minds to come up. You understand? So Dharma tells us that don't just be content there. So I'm thinking in an Ayurvedic context that we who are going to become students here and future leaders here, and we find that suddenly we have a skill to speak about Ayurveda, talk about Ayurveda, heal with Ayurveda, then this is no longer just a profession, it's a gift. And we have to give it back to the society. Are you liking this? The third is called Apata Dharma. Apata Dharma. Apata means contingency dharma or emergency dharma. This is the dharma that is given to us by the seers for emergency. For example, you may be a vegetarian, but you are now caught in the forest or in some climate where you can eat nothing but animal meat to stay alive. Then it's your dharma to take care of your body, and you have to let go of your religion or your belief system. So it is a dharma that people tend to misuse. Many people, even in the healing industry and the Ayurveda field, say, I would not have liked to sell these medicines and make money, but I found this rich patient and I just sold them a bunch of medicines. What should I do? It is my apata dharma. My children are very young. That's an excuse. Apata dharma is only when it is leading to your biological survival, not for your psychological material survival. As long as you can bear it, remain a vegetarian. But when it comes to losing your very life, then at that time, our Shastra says, go ahead and feed the body. This body is not yours. It's a gift from the divine. Take care of it. It's an example. I'm not asking you to convert into becoming vegetarian. I'm just saying, hold on to your dharma and only occasionally change it when it comes to your survival. Or similarly, for example, we have a teaching of non-violence or non-violent speech. I was giving a class yesterday and it was about being soft-spoken. But say you are in a war and somebody is in the eye of a bullet, are you going to grab them by the hand and pull them out of the path of the bullet? Or are you going to say, excuse me, the bullet is coming your way? You have to let go of the dharma of sweet speech and you have to be almost violent in your speech as well as your actions towards that person. This is called apata dharma. So in this context, in Ayurveda, for example, the Vaidya is told to always speak the truth. But if somebody is, for example, Abhiji will agree, if somebody is in their terminal stages, then we are told, don't mention that. Don't mention. Just turn their mind towards God. And as such, we don't know. Vaidya cannot decide what is that last moment. So we are taught how to be dharmic all the time, and then at the last, it is a contingency requirement for the well-being of the person. It's beautiful. And finally, we are told sadharana dharma, which is part of our lineage. This is the dharma of profound universal values that you cannot ever leave. These are the values of such as universal brotherhood, compassion, and the one truth in all. How does that play through you? Who are you? Are you just a yellow-skinned person, brown-skinned person, black-skinned person? Are you going to see the world in color? Are you going to see the world in, sex preference? That's it? That's all you could do? Are you going to break up the world into haves and have-nots? Or are you going to see the one truth and the living truth in every sentient being? For example, when we follow the sadharana dharma that our lineage teachers have been teaching, then we don't really have the luxury of behaving in the following way. This is how we behave when we don't follow sadharana dharma, where we see the common truth in all. Sadharana means common truth. Yeah, extraordinary, somebody can be a musician, somebody can be a doctor. We're talking about the common truth of Atman, spirit. So, how do we behave with people? People who say nice things to us, people who give us gifts, people who are kind to us, console us, we like them. They are our friends. People who criticize us, really dislike them. And for strangers, we are apathetic. So we break up the world into three kinds: like, dislike, and don't even care. But in sadharana dharma, we will develop a common vision for all sentient beings. We will no longer have the luxury of this biased behavior, of being nice to this micro small group of people who are nice to us, being vengeful and hateful towards that group of people who are not nice to us, and then almost treating the bulk of people as strangers, like objects, like they don't even matter. They'll be walking all around us and we will have almost like no cognition of them, as if they have no feelings. But when we are filled with sadharana dharma, we are on our way to spiritual oneness and recognition of that one divine spark in all. So these four types of dharma hold our humanity together. Following dharma separates us from just being a living being that eats, sleeps, and procreates. It makes us human, as Shakespeare has said. It fills us with the milk of human kindness. So a dharma-bound individual is not shirking their duty. They are not being selfish with their talents. They are not being flexible. They are not being flexible with the contingencies and emergencies that sometimes befall a human being. And then they come back to their dharmic track. And they do not see the one divine truth in all. They especially make effort to see that same divinity talking back in their worst critique. And when they look around and see the masses of people, they don't just say, well, how does it matter what they are, who they are? They feel their pain. This is sadharana dharma. Universal truth. Universal truth. So this dharma, these four dharmas we are asked to enjoin. And we like to talk about Dharma at Vedika Global because Vedika is a school that is based upon Dharma values. We have to choose something that we wish to anchor ourselves upon. And we didn't want to merely anchor ourselves up upon some borrowed professional values that will make us a professional structure but not necessarily have an inner spirit. So therefore it's very important for us to even deliberate why we even hold these sanghas. Why are you here? Why are we here? Are we here merely to entertain each other? Or are we all here collected to remind each other of these four dharmas? And what is Ayurveda specifically reminding us? I wish to talk to many of you familiar faces, some of you new faces, but what commonly unites us is sadharana dharma, or our oneness as human beings, as living, feeling, suffering, and sublime human beings. Dharmarth kama mokshanam arogyam moolam uttamam. Arogyam or health has been defined by Rishi Charak as the uttama, is as the most excellent moola root of the following four human goals: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma has been given not just the optional category, but it has been given a mandatory category of being the first goal that we have to achieve. So for example, today your goal here is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha in this classroom. Mine and my colleagues' goal here is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Bottom line. What is Dharma? We have to remember the essence of our beingness here. The essence. Artha, it represents that we are here to become abundant with knowledge, ideas, health. We have not come here to become more impoverished, to make you impoverished or to make ourselves impoverished. We are here to become abundant. We are here to become wealthy. We are here to become in every which way enriched. Kama. We are here to understand that we can support each other with legitimate, beautiful, authentic, honest, heartfelt relationships which lead each other back to Dharma. And we are ultimately here for freedom, moksha. What is freedom? If you ask me what is freedom, then to not have to do what we feel like doing is freedom. Listen carefully. To not be compelled to do what you feel like doing is freedom. That means freedom from your own feelings, freedom from your own desires, freedom from your own obsessions, freedom from your own compulsions is moksha. Freedom. Freedom. I feel like eating this chocolate, but I don't have to. How nice. How nice. That's freedom. So therefore, even these four goals begin with Dharma. Dharma, the right way of being, the righteous way of living, the harmonious way of existing. Because if you are dharmic, then due to you, everything is sustained, not deteriorating, not destroying. One dharmic individual upholds an entire village, an entire community, an entire nation. Interestingly, everything in nature seems to have had its Dharma workshop a long time ago. The sun doesn't question, why should I shine? The rose doesn't question, why should I bloom? The rainbow doesn't question, why should I be so splendid? The waves don't question, why should I rise if I have to break down after all into mere foam? But we question, why should I complete my duty and excel? Why should I see oneness in the one who is criticizing me? I don't think I like this philosophy, I will change my system of philosophy. Why should I? Why should I? Why should I? Why should I be humane? Why should I be divine? We question. And hence the great rishis gave us this beautiful science of Ayurveda. This Ayurveda which reminds us what it means to be living. And it tells us that as a living being, we better bring Dharma into our three living needs. These three needs are called Aishana. Aishana, three needs. What are those three needs? The first need is Prana Aishana. Prana Aishana, which means human being, please recognize you don't just want it, you have a need to be healthy. It's your innermost desire to be healthy. Stop pretending that it doesn't matter to you. Face it. Face the obstacles on your path and then choose the way to health. Don't just numb it with prescriptions. Or don't just cut away those parts that are hurting. Face the pain and then heal it. Claim it. You need to live and live long. Don't just check out because things are not working out for you. Don't just start, putting things in your mouth because you don't have a job or you don't have a relationship or you don't have a family. That's okay. But don't do an additional non-dharmic thing of hurting your body because that's going to become the bigger sin, because that is not being in Dharma. You are meant to be sustaining something, not destroying it. Pranayashana means even when somebody says, I'm suicidal, a healer like myself reminds them, are you joking? Nobody is suicidal. You actually really want health, but you are seeking it in the negative way. Come, I will show you the path to seek it in the positive way. So, the dharmic way of doing it is by following a very holistic lifestyle that does not hurt nature, that is one with nature. Seasonal lifestyle, as we teach here, month after month after month for 6 years now. We teach it to you, we put it on the YouTube, we write blogs for it because we believe that this knowledge needs to get out. We hope you are benefiting so that you gradually have the prana, the health that you deserve. And this is the beautiful part, that health is intrinsic to you. It will come up. It need not be bought from some shelf, or you need not think, I am a candidate who will never get it. No. Just like the fire does not have to wonder if heat will be there or not, in the same way as a human being, you don't have to question if you are a candidate for health or not. You may have a disease due to some past karmas of eating and lifestyle discretions. You may have some ill health even due to some past life indiscretions called karmaja vyadhi or karmic disorders. But that doesn't mean that if you start working on your health right now, you will not have any benefit, some benefit, or gradually cumulative benefit. So there is no reason not to begin on our health, and Ayurveda reminds us of the dharma towards our own self of claiming our true abiding health. Praneshana. Claim it. And if you are a student here, now additional words for you. When you become a giver, a teacher, and a reminder of praneshana, of health in people who come to us, then you have to have a lot of compassion in you, but also a lot of skill in you. Because that soul has come to you after many lifetimes of suffering, and if you have shaky feet or incomplete knowledge, then you are performing a sin. So get ready to heal, and get ready to heal with knowledge plus compassion. Secondly, the second need is of abundance, dhanayeshana. This is our Charak Samhita, our Ayurvedic Rishi who teaches us about dhanayeshana and says that it is important for each one of you to not only be healthy while you are on this material plane, you also have to be abundant. Impoverished thinking, broken thinking, can't do attitude does not work. It is not dharmic to even think like that. It is like the rainbow thinking, I don't have 7 colors. I'll just make do with one. So therefore, Ayurveda reminds us to use our skills, use our talents, use our time productively and creatively to become abundant. Abundant enough to donate, be generous, share a meal, help others. So abundant. Many times when a student comes here, we remind them, do what it takes, but become abundant too, along with becoming physically healthy. And so we have seen those changes in the person when they are reminded that you can do it. Something has happened in your mind where the can't do attitude has lodged. Start again. Just start again. It might need to begin with taking care of your physical self and then leading into your abundant state. And the third need is paralokeshana according to Charak, which is the need to develop your spiritual self. For any human being to say that it's okay, I just want to be physically, mentally healthy, I don't really need to know about my spirit or who I am, is really not being true to themselves. Be they of any religion, any country, any age, be they be atheists or agnostics, sometimes when they're sitting by themselves and they look at one blade of grass, they look at the rising sun or the setting sun, and something happens and they become part of a larger truth. And that larger truth is the divine reality. So inquiring as to who you are, why you are here, what is your dharma, even taking such classes and events is an important piece of our journey. If we don't take care of our spiritual self, then we are not being true to that special, unique dharma that Ayurveda is reminding us. This all comes under swadharma of taking care of yourself, being the best you are, like the daffodil that's fully open and fully ready to be a daffodil. Are you that fully open, fully ripe, fully beautiful daffodil, or are you just a little bit open with one petal up? And so for that, you need to grab your health, grab your abundance, and grab your spiritual self. And all three of them have to be thinking about the 4 dharmas that I talked about in the classic Sanatana Dharma or Vedic sense that we understand, which relate to individual duty, individual exceptional situations, individual talents, and universal beingness. So with all 4 dharmas in mind, and then these 3 human expressions dharmically addressed, as in the health is dharmically addressed with, healthy foods, herbs that you not only consume but also grow, and healthily delivered, as in the Vaidya being very conscientious. Similarly, wealth which is dharmically earned, honestly, without any compromise of morals. For a Vaidya, on the other end, the wealth and abundance that comes to the Vaidya of Ayurveda should come in an organic, blessed and divine way, and not in a grabby, greedy or any kind of profit-driven commercial motive way. In fact, the Vaidya has been told by Charak, our Rishi, that the Vaidya who chases money ends up with a heap of ash, and the one who chases Dharma ends up with gold. So follow the duty, not the money. And as far as paralocation is concerned, the way we can motivate our patient with their spiritual fullness is not by talking to them about it, but just by being immersed in our own spiritual fullness. One cannot talk to someone. It is not an intellectual engagement that, there's no equation mathematical that will make our patient recognize their spiritual fullness. Rather, when they look into your eyes and they experience your fullness and your space, what they are, they will be reminded of right away. Do we really need to give a matchstick a whole workshop on being a matchstick? Just give it another rough friction area and it will become a matchstick. So the way we empower another with their spiritual being is by letting them rub against you and they remember their own spiritual being. So with this I end. Shall we say Jai Ayurveda? Jai Ayurveda. May it remind us to do two things. Dharmam char satyam vad. May I walk the path of Dharma. May I speak my satyam or truth. And so grateful that we can do this at Vedika, where for so many years we have continued to follow our path without any compromise and continue to share good health and abundance and spiritual well-being with all the people who have walked through this door, whether for one day or who have become a part of this journey and are polishing the doors for the rest of you. So I'm so delighted to be joined by my colleagues here. Himaji is here now. She's the board president of Vedika Global, but that's just a title. More than that, she is like a sage here. And she will sing a beautiful couple of bhajans for us now. I told her that it's our last Sangha, so we need to hear your voice here. She's also a teacher and also a practitioner of Ayurveda. And I'm joined by Abhijit Ji. Dr. Abhijit Jinde is an MD in Ayurveda. He is the head of department for Panchakarma here. He is the founding president of Ayura Foundation in India. And he is leading many lead researchers in many important diseases such as diabetes in collaboration with many organizations and government of India. And he has been at Vedika from the beginning. And he's also my good friend for uncountable years. He is what we call an anchor teacher at Vedika. At Vedika, we have constant support of teachers here. So they come here and live here for many months at a time. And we have another unit downstairs where the teachers live and the offices live and other things. So that's where they live. And so there's always residential teachers here. And these teachers, like Abhijit Ji, Mahesh Ji, all of these teachers who I'm deeply remembering right now, from day one to day to day, I just want to say that with my students' cooperation, with my board's cooperation, all of us, Ji, it's amazing, right? And such a harmonious, such a beautiful journey we've had for 6 years. Because our Dharma was clear for us who we are, that we are a service organization and we are deeply sitting at the feet of the rishis. We are sitting and we are learning from them. So these teachers also sacrifice many months to come and stay here, and their patience and their steadfastness and their skill in teaching and guiding the students is unbelievable. I also have Chef Sanjay Ji here, who's doing his Vishisht Dharma duty of cooking inside right now. He has his students here also who have been helping. but he's just doing his part. So all the teachers are doing their parts, students are doing their parts, and thus the Dharma allows us to be who we are. Thank you so much.